Act 3 Sky. Man, I love this. This is like, it's cold early enough in winter that a few stray leaves still litter the ground, but late enough in fall for a kind of wind that rips the warmth from your skin. Your toes curl instinctively against the frost. It's dark. They never built any streetlights out here on the edge of town. At least you can see the stars. I don't know why that church part was very nostalgic to me. Just saying. The parking lot stretches wide into the hills. Rows of cars extend into the sky until the asphalt meets the horizon. In the dark like this, it might go on forever. Time to change your breath. Sit on the curb, get some water from the car. Let's do get some water. They never lock the cars out here. A safe neighborhood. 3 rows up, 2 rows down. A dark blue hatchback with room for 5. Mom's been parking in this spot since you were a kid. Your water's still lying on the floor in the backseat. Doesn't do much to drain the sand from your throat. Still, it's better than nothing. And the hood of the car makes a good place to sit and watch the stars. Doesn't feel like home anymore. Oh well, that's no surprise. It stopped feeling like home even before you left. But it wasn't like this. The wrong thing. Think it, speak it, feel it. Always the wrong thing. There was a place out west for a while that felt like home. Coffee machines and idle hands. The smell of fresh baked bread and baskets full of yarn. But the wrong thing came and went. Dang, I'm feeling sad for him. And the wrong thing worked its way into your minds and under your tongues. And the tongue thing urged itself to be spoken. She heard about a problem, thought she could fix out west from out west. Further still into the unknown, she still packed her bags and found a bus that went where she needed to go. And the wrong thing found a way to be said. Why did you ask her to stay? I wanted to keep what we had. I thought she'd get hurt. I wanted her to choose me. No. I wanted to keep what we had. Funny. The wrong thing always comes from a want. And the want is always beautiful. A crunch of gravel breaks your reverie. A long, low shadow that cascades along the cards. Holy shit, D. Is that you? Turn around. The figure is too dark to discern, framed as it is by the lights of the church, but the voice is unmistakable. Camilla? Camilla. They laugh. Some flippin' friend you are, huh? I've been Cam for years. Sorry. Another laugh. No, man, forget about it. It's been a minute, huh? They step forward, and a familiar face jumps out of the dark. Gray eyes, green hair, and a septum piercing. The same army surplus jacket they've been wearing since you were 15. It's good to see you, D. You too, Cam. They don't sound so excited, okay? Hey, don't sound so excited, okay? As wide as it is, their smile is still barely visible in the starlight. You couldn't take it either, huh? They changed the mass. Oh yeah, a few years back, a new translation caused havoc for a few months, but we all learned. They wipe some dust off the hood with their sleeve and sit down next to you. Of course, I only come on Christmas. What?
Put that last quarter thing out. You open the door?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I say this has been my time, my first time. Oh, wait, actually, no, just put me too. With a sigh, Cam begins to pat around the sides of their coat. This is a ritual you'll remember. Pockets on pockets, simple to find anyone. After a few seconds, they extract a pack of cigarettes from an unseen compartment. You want one? Sure. They smile just like old times. In the flame of the lighter, Kim's face is cast in color for the first time since they wandered out of the dark. Dark hair blooming up at the roots, small red stains in the corners of her eyes. When the flame winks out, the dark sets in. A face cast in monochrome from the dim blue light, shadows that shallow the smoke as it unfurls into the sky. So, what's new? Mm, moved out west. Actually, yeah. Fell in. Yeah, moved out west. They turn to face you directly for the first time since they wandered out of the dark. When they inhale, the light at the tip of their cigarette blossoms to reveal the spark of their eyes. Out west, huh? I hear it's different out there. Some ways. Cam longs a long, slow drag, and for a moment the earth is still. Well, I'd like to make it out there myself someday, but I've got enough to do around here. A gust of wind sweeps through the cars and sends a layer of salt skittering across the asphalt. A few grains settle on a patch of ice at your feet. Maybe it'll turn to water soon. Turn to water sooner than the seasons intend. Kim lies back on the hood and closes her eyes in the shadow of the church. The quiet rests heavy on in your in your ears. What's new with you? Oh, this and that, still working retail, wherever I can get it, bouncing around to a few different places. Never seem to last anywhere for long. Everyone says I'm still finding my feet. They smirk. Most everyone moved across the river to the city. Not much of a city, but I guess it's better than here. Miles comes back every once in a while, and Elle lets me stay in her apartment when I drive. How's Elle? No, how's Miles? You know what? Miles, yeah. Ah, man, he's figured shit out. His dad got him a job at the law firm filing papers. He says he wants to be a lawyer now. Thought he was better than that. Is this Miles? Is this the same Miles who got so high on Halloween that he fell down the middle of Cedar and refused to get up? Cam bursts out laughing midway through a drag and starts coughing up smoke. Crap! I forgot about that. He just lay there in that stupid clown costume and told everyone he was practicing for his driving test. It feels good to laugh. Kim wipes a tear from the corner of her eye. Yeah, he's cleaned up. So he says, same old Miles, but he's got a paycheck, an apartment, and a scented litter box for his cat. Hey, at least he's keeping busy. They smile and flick a spray of ash into the ground. We should hang out again, Dee. I miss you. Still live with your uncle? Kim sits up. Shit, Dee, you've really gone for a while, huh? I guess so. The bank foreclosed on us last year. Not just him. Everyone within half a mile of the river. The whole neighborhood got shut down for a new development. Some bullshit clause in the contract that let them cancel our mortgage for non-residential development opportunities. With the last few words, they lift their hands to paint quotation marks in the air, the fading light at the end of their cigarette bobs in the dark. I had no idea. They hunch their shoulders up and turn their face away until they can barely see it behind the collar of the air turns cold. I don't really want to talk about it with you, Dee. It was a shitty time and you weren't here. I loved that out. You should have told me. Stubbs her their cigarette out on the hood of the mom's car and flicks it to the ground. Things changed, Dee. The house is gone. Didn't expect I'd have to explain that to you. I sent a silence. It's too cold for a conversation like this. The kind of wind that works its way deep into the marrow of your bones. A carol drifts its way out of the church to settle in on the pavement. At least you have each other. Thin-lipped smile. I don't need silver linings. You weren't here. That's okay, but I'm fine. Dee, I don't need you to come home and fix my problems for me. Pause in the service. The quiet is all around. Sorry. Listen, Dee. I'd better get back inside. Looks like they're letting out. In the spire above the church, a bell begins to ring. Take care of yourself, okay? You too. They're gone. Crap. The doors spring wide and churchgoers spill out by the dozen. Kim finds her uncle in the doorway and disappears. In a few minutes, Mom and Dad will make their way through the throng and find you in the darkness, and then you'll have to answer for your absence. It's hard to imagine having the conversation. What do you even say? Sorry, Mom, I couldn't mess up in church because I had to mess up with Cam. She'll understand, of course. She always does, but she thought of seeing her now wraps a hand around your throat. But the thought of seeing her now wraps a hand around your throat, yeah. You don't have much time. The air is filling with the voices of the joyful, and it's getting hard to breathe. You can make it back. You can talk to Mom. You can tell her you're sorry. You can spend Christmas at home. But it's so very hard. It's so very dark out here at the edge of town, and you need a moment of peace. Just one moment, and you'll be okay. A second to catch your breath. Not here, somewhere you can be alone. You know just the spot. Everyone calls it the church on the edge of town, and that isn't quite true. The real border splits the top of a hill whose base forms the other end of the parking lot. Up there, you can be alone. People tend not to try to make it up there in the dark. There's a story about this hill. There's a story about most hills, but unlike most hills, this one feels unfamiliar beneath your feet. It's funny. You told Amira you take her one day. She never made it. Maybe you shouldn't have told her. Maybe you shouldn't have made promises you couldn't keep. Oh well, no sense dwelling in the past. It's time to move, Dee, to the edge of the lot, where the asphalt turns to dirt, to the edge of the dirt, where the soil turns to grass, to the edge of the grass, at the top of the hill, where an old tree with wide branches might still make a perfect seat for watching the sky. How long has it been since you made this trek? Last year, a few years back, last time I went to church. A ritual for every time you come home. A place to call your own. In the winter, when the edges of the earth fill up with ice, most people avoid the climb, but you always go. The path still feels familiar. Cool grass underfoot, stalks so long they brush up against your pants, and spread dew on your ankles. Half melted snow to mark the changing of the season. If it's as beautiful as you remember, then it'll be worth the climb. Is it how you remember, Dee? Does the sky still look the same? Does the wind weigh the same against your shoulders? Can your feet find the path without the aid of your eyes? Do you remember what it looks like where the sky stretches wide? Do you remember what it looks like at the end of the world? Most people, you later learned, don't grow up in towns at the edge of the earth. A sea of stars rises up over the hilltop. A fading tree leans out into the open air. This is how the world ends. At the crest of a hill, at the edge of town, the grass just stops and the earth falls away. It's amazing how quickly you can get used to something like this. The sudden drop into darkness and the empty filling it brings the long, low horizon where the blackness meets the stars. It's been like this for as long as you can remember. The end of everything just past the church. No one even thinks to talk about it when describing the town. The only landmark they mention is the mill. The edge of the earth, beautiful, but not too special. Plenty of things and the earth is no exception. The trek to crest the hill has one purpose: to be around in the face of something bigger than yourself, to witness the creatures who inhabit the dark. God, they look even bigger than you remember. Colossal figures floating in the distance, looping through their snake-like bodies to wrap around the stars. If you're careful, you can rest your body at the edge of the earth, legs over the edge, hanging into the unknown. But as a child, you were afraid you were always too afraid. Maybe tonight you'll work up the courage, but not yet. Not until you have some time to breathe. It's cold up here. Your breath turns to vapor in the air and rises up to meet the creatures in the stars. Maybe they remember you. You remember them, of course. How could you forget? Serpentine forms, coils in coils in the air, plucking stars out of the sky and shuffling the constellations around. You shouldn't have told her. Or maybe you should have. She can make her own choices, but you wish she'd been chosen differently. Amira believed she could fix things. She thought the earth was worth saving. You loved that about her. but in a fight at the behest of some petty grievance whose memory is not stood the test of time, the wrong thing burned a hole in your mind, and I found a way to be said. It always does. What's the point? That's all ending it. That it's all ending anyway. Most people, you later learned, don't grow up in towns at the edge of the earth. You had told her about the spirits, of course, but you hadn't told her about their hands. You hadn't mentioned the way they reshaped the stars. You hadn't told her that they were getting closer. Some things seem better left unsaid. Maybe it would have ended differently if you'd gone with her, Dee. Maybe she'd be here if you had agreed to help. But how could you? This is just how things are. So she heard about a problem that she thought she could fix. Read about a group of people out west at the other edge who were trying to save the stars. What's the point of this? She said. If we can stop the earth from falling apart, come with me. I can't. So she packed her bags and found a bus and went where she needed to go, out west. From out west, further into the unknown. Do you still believe what you said? There's no point in trying to stop them. The earth changes no matter what we do. All we can do is wait. There's no point in trying to wait. You know what? That one. Yeah, that one actually sounded good. I'm sorry, Cam. That's right. Oh man. Is that Cam? Is that actually her? The new. I was hard on you. I'm sorry. That's okay. It's been really, really hard around here since you left. Not because you left, but you know what I mean. Their body shakes in the cold. I didn't want to leave things like that. Me neither. My uncle's still talking to his friends, and we have a few minutes, and I thought a long, deep breath that spills out into the air. I thought we could sit together here and watch them. I pause, like we used to. Yes, like we used to. Okay. Hey, D. Yeah? What happened to you? Lost my way, that's all I'm gonna say. Oh, I pause. Think you'd find it again? I'm not sure. They pull up a handful of grass and toss it over the edge. You think it's like this everywhere? Few places. Uh, you ever tell anyone about this? One person. What did they do? She's trying to save the world. No shit, huh? No shit, huh? I hope she does. Me too. Not much has changed for the better around here since you left. I know. That's why I was so hard on you earlier. It's not like you had anything to do with it, but I want things to be how they used to be. And they aren't. A long breath blossoms into the air. I don't think they will be again. Listen, just listen to her. That's all you gotta do. 'Cause I feel bad. I'm afraid of them. A nod of the head, tilting toward the creatures in the sky. You know How when we were kids, it used to look like they were getting closer. I remember. They haven't stopped. A shiver runs deep through your bones. Every year, a little closer. No one knows why. And with every inch they move, more stars around. Entire suns flicked out of orbit. Oh, so it's like a thing. What happens to the planets, D? What happens to the people there? I don't know. A sigh. What I'm saying is, they cut themselves off. A deep breath, and they close their eyes. What I'm saying, D, is that everything changes. Everything goes away. But I'd like to think that some things stay the same. They're shaking now. And when the stars go out or move, whatever those things are doing, I don't know. They're so beautiful, but I don't know if they're in their if we're in their plan. I think we are. I hope we can only hope. I don't know. We can only hope. Hey D, yeah. When they get closer, what do you think happens to us? The stars seem so far. A moment stopped in time. The spirits in the sky all frozen in place, with their fingers fingers outstretched. What happens to us? Well, I don't know why, but I think we'll be okay. They'll probably tear us apart. We'll just have to find out when it happens, and that's usually how it is. They turn to face you. Can you make me a promise? Of course. When it does happen, let's meet here, back at the edge of town. A pause. I don't want to find out alone. I promise. Silence. Lights in the sky. In a moment like this, hands have a tendency to find one another in the darkness. The wind picks up from behind. You know, after all these years, I was worried things might be different. But that's the thing about you, D. You still know just what to say. Aww. Fall on your knees. A game about coming home for everyone who has lost a home and made a new one, for everyone who has lost their breath from looking at the stars. That's sweet. Thank you to Joe, whose unparalleled knack for challenging my ideas is responsible for most of the story's bite, and a lot of its substance. Thank you to Kira for encouraging me to see my stories through to the end. Thank you to my mother for showing me the beauty in the church and for letting me find my own way when I decided it wasn't for me. What now? I conceived of Fall on Your Knees on Christmas 2017. After attending a Catholic Mass with my family, it was a small project written and produced in about 2 months near the end of 2018. If you liked it, you should take a look at Soft Earth, my longer game in the same style. If you'd like to offer some compensation for your experience with this game, you can make a donation over the game of okay. Well, I liked it. Any donations split evenly between the two members of the development team. Alternatively, we encourage you to donate money either to the Chicago Community Bond Fund or to the Bill Wilson Center. Two organizations that help marginalized people find their way home. If you end up giving a donation, I'd love it if you let me know via Twitter or email address listed on my website. If you can't afford a donation, then consider leaving a review or a comment on this itch.io page to help other people find this game. Thank you for being part of my family tonight. Thank you for watching The Stars with me. I hope I'll see you again. John Source. I like that game. That was a good game. I'm telling you, that really was. What's this other one? Soft Earth. Yeah, I liked it, man. That's really. It's really deep too. I liked it, but it's just you have to like. I don't know. I imagine myself in this position, and I kind of do a little bit. But anyways, I hope y'all like this. Happy holidays. Hope y'all enjoyed this. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the